Hi, I'd like to introduce you to the Dillon RL550B. This is a progressive press that is a manual index press. So you push this index star and it indexes for you. I've already filled the primer feed. You can tell that I have primers. The primer alarm is activated. There's a little bit of powder in there, and I also have the rifle powder bar installed. I have the Lee RGB 223 die set, and in this little bowl I have 10 Hornady 55 grain 223 bullets with cantilever. The other things that you'll notice on my bench is I have 10 cases. I'm going to do 10 rounds here. I have a Dillon case length gauge, and these are really nice because they show you how your head space is, and they also show you if you need to trim your brass or not. Now this brass has already been lubed with the Dillon DCL lubricant, however they've not been trimmed. Another thing that I keep on hand is a good little flashlight, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm shining down in case I need to look and see if there's powder or something. So those are basically the tools that I have on my bench, and I want to take you through and show you what it looks like to get reloading progressively. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and hopefully you'll enjoy this process. Okay, so this press has 4 stations. I'm going to take a piece of brass from my pile and I'm going to insert it in the press to station 1, which is right in front of me. And what station 1's job is it's going to decap the case and it's going to resize the case. This is a full length case resize, and like I said, it's going to knock the old primer out. If I pull it out right now and I show you the case, I hope this focuses for you. I'll hold it there for a second. Let's see if I'm getting too close. Anyway, you can see that the primer is already spent. It's got the little dent in it. Okay, this is brass that I just got out. And the reason it's not trimmed is because I trimmed it the last reload, so I'm not worried about that step this time around. So station 1, like I said, I'm going to raise the ram, and what's going to happen is it's going to resize that case, full length resize, and it's going to knock the old primer out. Now the old primers fall into this little primer cup, which is pretty handy. I can dump them when I'm done. It's pretty nice. They go right there, and it just sits right there on the press. It's a pretty cool idea that they've had. I'm going to come back down to the neutral position with the handle, and right now what's happened is I've knocked the old primer out and I've resized. Now I need to prime this case. So to prime the case, I'm going to take the handle and I'm going to push it forward. There it goes. Now I'm going to pull the case out once again, and as you can tell, I have a brand new primer installed on this case. So this case is ready to go to station 2. Put it back in the press, manual index. Okay, now that I'm on station 2, I'm going to get a new case and put it in station 1. And station 1 is going to do the exact same thing that it did a minute ago. And station 2 now, what I'm going to do is when this ram raises up, station 1, once again, it's going to de-prime, resize, and prime. But station 2 is going to get a load of powder. I've already got my powder load set for this particular bullet and cartridge that I'm going to be using. So once I come back to neutral with the handle, I push forward mildly, and you'll get this feel of the primer seating. I'm looking down right now as I index, and I can see the powder, which is now in station 3. I can see the powder, so therefore I don't need my flashlight right now to tell. I'm going to insert a bullet into station 3. Now what's going to happen here is station 3 is going to seat the bullet, 2, just like before, is going to set a powder charge, and 1 is going to decap, resize, and then prime on the upstroke. So here we go. Just like so. when you come back down, make sure you take your time and be a little bit patient, because it takes a second for that powder to fall. Push forward, and now I've reprimed station 1. And index again. Grab a new piece of brass, reach over, find a new bullet, look down, there's plenty of powder, put the bullet, and once again complete the process. Here we go. That little ting that you hear every time I do this is the old spent primer coming down and falling into the cup. So once again, index. Add a new case. Once I get a completed cartridge out of the cartridge bin, I want to use my case length gauge and see how simple they drop. And I don't know if you can tell right here, this focus is kind of shady on this camera. Let me see if I can get you here. Yeah, you back off. I can show you this case length gauge, and this case should be flush or just a little bit underneath this ridge right here. If you flip it over, you'll be able to tell if this case needs to be trimmed or not, and in this case it doesn't. This case looks fine. So I'm going to put that back in the completed cartridge bin, put my case length gauge away, grab another bullet, look at station 3, I have plenty of powder, and raise the ram. Seat the bullet. Station 2 is getting powder, station 1 is decapping and resizing, station 4 is doing nothing. Push forward to prime. I've got another finished cartridge I need to check. Fit right down in there. This case does not need to be trimmed also. That's the procedure. Put another case in, look at station 3, I can see powder there. Everything looks okay. Gonna see the bullet. Station 1 decap resize. Prime on the forward stroke. Index. And I have a new bullet that just fell. Check my case length gauge. Things look good. Nice and flush. No problems. These case length gauges, a lot of guys I've seen, they actually get their gun out and chamber the round and all this. I don't know if that's the best idea or not, but I'm just showing you what I do and what works for me. I'm trying to adjust this camera a little bit so I can get you a little bit better view of the press in action here. There, that should work. So once again, I'm going to insert a new case. Look at 3. 3's got powder. Grab a bullet. It's probably terrible with my arm reaching in front of everything, but put the bullet in there. Raise the ram. Go through. Push forward. Now that you've seen the process, I'm going to speed the process up just mildly, and I'll back the camera out a little bit just to show you that. I'm going to dump these out on the table, and here we go. Progressive reloading. Right here. 1. One thing that I recommend is never seat a bullet until you know for sure that there's powder in there. Now you noticed a little bit of powder dropped. I got a little excited in how quick I was to come back down. So I still got a good charge because I looked, but I did drop a couple granules of powder. Now I'm down to 2. Seat the bullet. I have 3 on the press, but 2 bullets in my hand. There we go. Push forward. Index. Seat the bullet. No need to prime now. That's just an instinct. So now we have a small cartridge bin full of 223s. Of course it's only 10 rounds, but take you off this tripod for a second and show you the finished product here. So once again, we're looking at 10 223 rounds that have just been cranked out on the Dillon RL550B. Here's my case length gauge. Just drop them in there. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but make sure they're in a good position. And I don't know if you're going to be able to tell here, but zoom in a little bit and real slow, and you'll be able to see, especially if I set it down. Try to get this where you can see it. It's kind of hard to tell. Maybe I'll be able to tell once I get the video inside, but If the brass is underneath this recess right here, the length of the brass inside that hole, if it's within that recess, it's okay. If it's too long, you'll see the brass hanging out up over this part here. That's when it would need to be resized, or excuse me, yeah, trimmed. So there it is. There's the Dillon RL550B and my reloading bench. I don't know if you saw the unboxing. This is the little old Lee press. It works great for a single stage operation. Maybe for 45 Colt, you know, maybe for my 30-06s, 30-30s, things of that nature that I don't want to do progressively or don't have set up for them yet. So that's the Lee. It's a good press too, by the way. It's a very inexpensive press, probably the cheapest one you can buy. I think Midway might sell it for around $24 or something like that right now. It's and it's February 2012, so I don't know how long that information will be effective, but it's a good little press. But there's the reloading bench, and this powder that we're using right now is we're using Varget by Hodgdon. It's a great powder. It's an extreme powder, and I don't know if you can tell in this video, but it says 223 Remington. They recommend 27.5 grains for a 55 grain bullet. I'm running these at 25 grains, so just a little under what they say. And that was because the Lyman 49th edition book says for Varget that they recommend that charge. And anyway, this is the Dillon RL550B, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.